Hey, welcome into the Revolved Realty Real Talk Show. Boy, my mic is hot. I took everything apart this week. You can see we've got different backgrounds, and then when I hooked it all back up, I think I hit some switches that were hit by mistake. So I'm watching the levels. So welcome into the show. Hope you're having a fantastic day. It is Friday, January the 4th. Wow. 4 days in this year. The year will be gone before you know it. So on the show this morning, of course, Chelsea McKinney. How are you, dear?
Oh, I'm just trying to stay sane in this crazy world. How's everybody?
And Zach is still doing some stuff on the building. So Stephen Allen from the mortgage firm is here. How are you, buddy?
I'm good.
How are things? Did you have a good Christmas? You've got
awesome.
Little ones, right?
Yes. Yeah, we spent Christmas in the mountains this year, so
Which
had a great
mountains would
Christmas.
those be?
Blue Ridge. So we were over in Blue Ridge, Georgia, and had the whole family over there, and just kind of had a whole stay-in type vacation. Didn't even leave, so
Cool.
it was awesome.
We used to do that. We used to go to Gatlinburg, and
Did
one of
we?
I actually have a video of Chelsea McKinney when she was like 3 or 4, eating a Pop-Tart and drinking a Yoo-Hoo. It doesn't get any more
Still
redneck than
one
that.
of my favorite meals.
Nice.
But anyway, I hope you had a good holiday. We're back in the saddle. What I thought we'd talk about today is we're in day 15 of this mortgage, or not the mortgage crisis, although that's coming. We're in day 15 of the government partial shutdown. And one of the questions that I'm getting quite a bit is how is that affecting the real estate industry? How is it affecting the mortgage industry? So I thought we would cover that topic this morning. How exciting does that sound?
Sounds so great.
They're looking at me like dogs watching a ceiling fan. I'm not sure what's going on. So I know you really haven't gotten back into things yet because you had a big holiday and that sort of thing. But are you seeing any indication at all that this government shutdown is having any effect? I think it's kind of early. What do you think?
I think it's very early, but no, not from my standpoint, because I've still got buyers looking, and maybe they're not affected. Maybe I just.
What's surprising? We're all like people with blindfolds trying to walk through it in the mortgage business.
It's the bird
it
box.
Is crazy. Yes,
Did you watch
exactly.
that?
That
I
was
watched
crazy.
half of it. It's
watch it.
basically a quiet place with blindfolds.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but that's what it feels like. You're blindfolded trying to walk through it every day. You're learning something new that you don't know. The biggest impacts right now is USDA is shut down. So if you are looking for a USDA loan, you can go through the lender's process. So we can do it. We can get you going through the process, get you to the point of where you're clear to close. But with USDA, you still have to be sent off for USDA approval. So a USDA underwriter has to review it. I have one of our loan officers, the Bowtie Mortgage guy, actually has a client that their file was at USDA when it shut down, and they are still
great.
basically waiting for this house to close. They cannot close until the mortgage or until the government opens
So
back
the
up.
USDA is not one of those vital entities that's still working.
They are not working.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just the biggest impact. USDA, yes, your lender can go through. Some lenders may or may not do it. But you can still go to the point of actually getting it ready to go out to USDA. Again, once they come back up, though, we're going to be talking about
It's going to be a backlog.
major backlogs.
Yeah.
I mean, something that you're probably going to see 20, 30-day backlog. Big impact.
So if someone had a USDA loan in process, it's now just
If they were in
stopped.
process at the point of when it happened, they've probably gotten to the point to where it's ready to go to USDA. But still, once the government opens back up, depending on how long the shutdown happens, you're talking minimal of that many days. So right now we're at 15 days, and I think when they shut down, we were at a 5-day turn time. So you're at 20-day turn time.
What's the
right
average turnaround for a USDA loan?
now. Typically, with our office on a normal time when the government's open and everything's operating, we can close the USDA loans between 15 and 30 days, depending on what the turn times are on those. But right now, I mean, that's out the window because we can still do our part in that time. But actually trying to get it to USDA, it's going to be nearly.
Yeah. So even if you do
Impossible.
everything and get
Yeah.
it ready, once it goes over there,
Yes.
it's going to be sitting there backlogged at least 15 days.
You're at
now.
their discretion.
Yeah. And do those folks normally work really quickly?
No, they go at a snail's pace.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, they do not do anything with urgency.
well, you know, when you think of the government shutdown, you don't really think of all the agencies that are involved.
Right.
Right. I didn't. It never really occurred to me that the USDA and well, what about FHA and all the other.
Okay,
types?
so FHA, there is minimal impact FHA. Traditional FHA, if you're a credit score of 600 and above, we are not having any impacts with FHA, provided that you're not in a flood zone. If you're in a flood zone, any FHA loan in a flood zone will not close until the shutdown is over because you cannot issue the flood policy. So that is also, we have one of those that we're in a holding pattern on until the government opens back up. The reason I say 600 and above, we can do loans that are lower than 600, but we don't have investors being a direct lender. No investor is buying a loan unless you have an IRS tax transcript. IRS is not operating right now, so we're not issuing tax transcripts. So we don't have a solution under 600 if you're an FHA buyer.
Interesting.
So there's impacts all over. A lot of lenders do require it because you have in the lending world a lot of overlays in this business, and overlays are extra layers of protection that underwriters put on. And if that lender requires an IRS tax transcript in order to close that loan, you are surely not going to close.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to
Unless
break
they amend
anybody's heart that the IRS is shut down, but all of this stuff that's kind of flowing out. Hey, if you're just now joining us, do us a favor, share this out. This is the Revolved Realty Real Talk Show with Tim, Chelsea, and our friend Stephen Allen. And this morning we're talking about the government shutdown, the effect that it's having right now and potentially might have on real estate and on mortgages. I would assume that the conventional side of things are still flowing along normally.
Zero impact.
Yeah.
If you're in a conventional loan, Freddie, Fannie, no impact whatsoever. So we are moving those loans, we're closing those loans. There's zero impact with that at all.
Yeah, and what are you telling the folks that are coming to you? Are you just saying the government shutdown, we're kind of on hold?
No, we still move it
You
through
can
the
still
process.
do your
Absolutely.
stuff, yeah.
It is not a time to just pause the process. Still get out there, look for your home. If you're looking for a USDA home, does not mean that you stop that process. Still let your lender do it because you have a big process that you need to go through with that lender in order to still get the home.
Yeah.
That much is still operating. So
Right.
do not think that just because the government shut down and USDA can't approve you, that you can't get to that point. We still can do that. And so then that limits the time that you're going to be waiting for the government to
What about
back
on the
up.
VA side? Is there any effect there at all?
VA has limited impact as well. If they are certain situations similar to what FHA is, that might have an impact. But on my end, I have zero impact right now with my VA loans.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's
So
talk about.
0% down option is totally fine. And then
Yeah.
one is just a little held up.
Yep.
If you're a
Got it.
veteran, you're okay.
Yeah.
At least in that respect.
Yes.
What do you think is going to happen if this shutdown continues? Which a lot of folks are saying that it's likely to. You know, if it goes out a month, 2 months, 3 months, I mean, that's really going to have a huge impact.
I say if we get into February, we're going to see definitely a dampening on our spring buying season.
Yeah.
Because especially in our market, this is a very rural market. USDA dominates in a lot of loans that people don't have down payment. And so it definitely will have an impact. You know, I think real estate agents don't feel it yet because everything that they had in the works is actually going to close.
Right.
But for the ones who don't, you know, it's a snowball effect. One loan that's waiting to close affects the next loan and it affects the next one. So whoever is waiting on this USDA loan to close that we personally have, they're also getting affected. Even if they're in a conventional option, that loan is still being affected because it cannot close. And so you've yet to really see the snowball effect happen. But I think as time goes on, it's definitely going to start occurring.
Yeah. What do you think this is going to do to the real estate market here? We had a really hot market last year, cooled off a little bit over December, and I'm hearing a different opinion. Some folks are thinking it's going to heat right back up and we're going to go right back where we were. Nationally, I think the opinion is kind of that things are going to stabilize and slow down a little bit. What are you thinking?
I mean, I think maybe it won't be as coming in as hot as it usually does in the spring. But I mean, I think if it doesn't last a whole lot longer, then this is an area that everybody wants to be. Everybody's moving here for jobs other than government type jobs too. And so, I mean, I think maybe it won't be as, hot and heavy or whatever verbiage you want to use, as typical spring and summertime markets are, but I'm not worried about it.
What's inventory looking like? Are you seeing an increase in inventory right now?
You know what? It's only the 4th, and we've done a lot of business in the last 3-4 days as far as listings and getting deals in work and that sort of thing. So I think people, at least the ones that I've talked to, and again, it's still early. It's only the 4th of January, for Pete's sake. But people seem very excited about getting things back on the market and getting it sold. I think when you have a market like we had last year, everybody just thinks it's going to be another hot market. And I'm not talking about the realtors and the industry people. It's the folks that actually have houses to sell. If I had a house to sell in Madison, boy, that baby would be on the market soon, quickly. Because you got to look at everything that's coming in this year. Let's forget the government shutdown for a minute and let's talk about how this area is going to grow over the next couple of years. There was a thing on AL.com yesterday about all the different businesses, restaurants and things that are going to be locating here in 2019. And we're finally getting the national guys like the Dave and Buster's and, things like that. For Pete's sake, can we get a Joe's Crab Shack? Can we please get a Joe's Crab Shack? I got to tell you, I actually looked into buying a franchise. And I was like a gnat in their ear. They're like, you don't have enough people. Well, look, Outback, you can't get near. We could fill up a Joe's Crab Shack.
This area is so unique, though. You go anywhere, and typically, I'm not originally from the Huntsville area. I come from the Michigan area. So, going to a restaurant, going to a restaurant there, you typically don't have a wait. But if you go somewhere on a Friday night in Huntsville, Alabama, you are sure to have at least a 10 to 15 minute wait. Yeah. And it's full.
Today, we will open a Chick-fil-A and a Joe's Crab Shack if they'll let us. We will.
Get in line.
I mean, that just...
We tried to do a Chick-fil-A franchise.
That'd be awesome.
And it was a no-go.
I know that's really hard to get.
It is.
Yeah.
You have to have, so much management experience, at Chick-fil-A.
Don't they actually have to, come and interview you personally?
They have to do a bunch of stuff.
It's probably...
We made it to, step 2.
Wow.
And there were, 6 other steps.
Oh, my gosh.
And then they were like, no, y'all are not the one.
It's crazy. I don't know. I think Jesus has to love you to a certain degree to qualify to open a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
But anyway, back on point, you've got all of these things that are coming in.
Right.
You've got all of these jobs coming. The FBI is bringing a ton of jobs. You've got the what's the new Toyota plan is coming.
Right.
So they're saying within the next 3 to 5 years, this Huntsville Metro will be the largest city in the state.
I believe it.
That's crazy. I mean, that's bigger than Birmingham, bigger than Montgomery, way bigger than Mobile. And all of those folks have got to have a place to live. So regardless of the government shutdown, I think we're going to have a very good year in real estate. And you make the point is we're a little different than the rest of the country. Our little pocket of Huntsville, Madison, Athens, Decatur here, we're not like the rest of the state. We have Huntsville is very high tech. Decatur is very much manufacturing. Athens, God love them, it's still 1975, but I love Athens.
Hey, they're getting an apartment complex.
You know what? Here's a true story. Sierra, my youngest daughter, and I, she had never been to Athens. Okay, because Sierra doesn't get out from under her rock. She has a sphere.
Got a radius.
She's like the boy in the bubble. Do you remember that movie, The Boy in the Bubble? Sierra has a bubble. Anyway, I forced her to go with me to Athens for some reason.
Christmas party.
And that was before that. Anyway, as you go into Athens, there's everything right there.
Yeah.
There, and she's like, holy moly, there's a Chick-fil-A, there's a Five Guys, there's a Ruby. She's like, we should move to Athens. And then when you get past that, it's like
nothing.
Crickets, Yeah. But I love
that. She wants to live on 65.
Yeah, she literally wants to move into the apartment complex behind Shoney's right there because everything is very convenient. But all kidding aside, we love Athens, and Athens, the real estate market there last year was hot.
It is.
We did a ton of business there. So I don't think it's going to be, mortgages aside, the real estate market's not going to be as affected. I think we're going to have a really good year as far as real estate.
The one thing that's bad about the
Hope so.
Limestone County area, Athens particularly, is that the whole county is eligible for USDA. So with the USDA,
The whole county?
the whole county.
Even stuff zoned to Madison City Schools?
Well, I'm not sure about that, but my previous understanding is that whole county is still USDA eligible.
Explain what that means.
Right now, with the USDA being on shutdown, if a lot of those buyers rely on that program, that's kind of putting a pause on that market a little bit.
USDA is more rural programs.
Yeah, USDA is for a buyer who's looking for 100% 100% financing, low interest rates, but they don't want to buy in the city of Madison or in a city area. If you're considered more of a rural market, that qualifies for rural development.
The USDA.
Oh, yes.
But there are income limits and stuff like that, right?
There are.
Associated with.
Yes, you have certain income restrictions, and that's based on county. But yes, there are certain things that you have to meet in order to be able to qualify for a USDA.
You know, when I had Paul Finley on the show, we were talking about the growth in Madison. And I don't remember the exact number, but there was something like 3,000 building permits in work for residential housing in the city of Madison.
Wow.
Now,
Where are they going to build it all?
well, you know, who is it? Is it Breland bought the Clift Bethany? I think I just had a stroke.
Across from Target.
Yeah.
Yes.
Breland bought the Clift property across from Target. For some reason, that was like a tongue twister. So
Articulate.
when I try, you know. But that was, I don't remember the acreage there, but that's hundreds of homes.
Right.
That's
Then
true.
you've got Madison now kind of wafting over on the Limestone County side because we really are landlocked. There's not a whole lot of area for us to go. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to have to go back to court and get back some of that land that was given to Huntsville in the
Annexed to Huntsville,
annexation.
yeah.
Huntsville, some of the city limits of Huntsville actually extend over to 65.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's
crazy.
insane. Yeah.
Which is like, I've never heard of a city having that much of a weird.
You know
limits.
what? There were some leaders out in this direction that thought we should be part of Huntsville and basically just bent over and said, come on. And that's what happened. I mean, if you're right here in Madison, you know, we're here at the corner of Slaughter and 72. Across the street, that's Huntsville.
Yeah, yeah.
If you go down 72 all the way to Home Depot, Outback, which we talked about, which does more revenue than any other business in town, that's Huntsville. City
But the
limits.
theater in Madison is
That little
behind.
patch, yeah, like that's making a ton of money. Have you been to this theater?
No.
I mean, I've been once and I won't go again.
Yeah, not impressed. I'm sorry.
It's like Madison Square 12 in 2002.
Well, it's hidden. Nobody really knows it's there.
It's just kind of a.
Or like
it's
Carmack.
like if I put a projector in my garage and some folding chairs. Sorry,
yeah, the
that's
chairs
about.
are super uncomfortable.
That's about the caliber of this. But
And
yeah,
it's just as expensive as Monaco.
yeah.
Which is
But that is Madison. If you right there where, but if you go past the theater, there's an open field and there's a tree line. Past that tree line, it's Huntsville.
Interesting.
Yeah. So all of the revenues,
Property
even though
lines.
Home Depot is sitting squarely in Madison, all the tax revenue goes to Huntsville. So again, let's go back to what we think the real estate market is going to be. I think it's going to be a very good year. I think we're going to piggyback off last year. Are we going to be as hot? I think a good house in Madison is still going to sell in minutes,
I hope so.
said the lady with houses in Madison.
I think if anything, you may see about a 10% reduction in sales over last year, just based on the fact that, I mean, let's be real. Nationally, the market is cooling.
Yeah.
So we're going to see probably some effect. I don't think it's going to be as major as what they're predicting in like Dallas or even
Right.
California. But I do think that you're going to see some type of an adjustment in our market.
But I don't think we're in a bubble situation.
Nah.
That's the thing that I keep
Far from
hearing
that.
from realtors out on the West Coast and other places. They talk about the bubbles about to bust. Again, we're in a very unique area. I mean,
Well,
We've
we're
been-
getting all the people that are living
Yeah.
out there. working
yeah,
out
hey,
there.
bust
Yeah.
that bubble and send them here. We'll sell them
Right.
houses.
True. True.
Well,
they can get way more bang for their buck here
Oh,
too.
it's amazing.
Well, let's talk about that because I've got a couple from Ohio, I think, who sold a house up there for a nice chunk of change and are coming down here now looking at. I mean, they can buy mansions here.
Yeah.
Basically. So even though the market here is very hot, the real estate values are on the rise, but you can still get a lot of house for your buck.
Unless you're in Blossomwood, and then you can't. You can get a little house for a lot of buck.
You know what? I
don't get it.
It's a unique market.
It
there.
is a really
weird.
Yeah. But I've talked to owners in Blossomwood who feel that because their house is in Blossomwood, that it should be worth way more than.
And it can be like in tear down condition.
But they sit on the market a lot longer too in that area.
I've seen houses in Blossomwood that are literally gutted. Gutted on the inside, and they're asking $140 a square foot.
Why do you think that is?
'Cause
They're very
people
proud
are-
of the area. Yeah. Well, Blossomwood, at one time, I think that's where all the doctors and lawyers were moving to. You know, it's near the medical district, which is always very hot. Twickenham is always very hot. But, yeah, I need to call the Van Valkenburgs because they sell most of the houses in Blossomwood and just ask them, what's the mystique?
Yeah.
Because I really...
Maybe there's a pot of gold in the walls.
I'll tell you what, I've been in a
every
lot of
house.
houses there. I haven't seen a pot of anything, to be honest with you. But it's just one of those areas. It's kind of like Madison.
Sure.
You know, because of the schools out here, at least we have that.
Golly,
But,
yeah.
you know, if you can find a house in Madison under $100,000, regardless of condition, you better buy it. Because you can easily turn it around and double or triple your money on that. Another thing is the Airbnb market. Chelsea's killing it with the Airbnbs.
that.
If you have a house in the Copperfield subdivision,
I want it.
You want to sell today?
I'll buy it.
She'll buy it
I'll
today.
buy it next week.
Yeah, but I think that also says something about the economy, the fact that you own houses that you have turned into Airbnbs and they stay rented out continually
Yeah.
because of the market here. So I think we're a little different. We're going to feel some effect, but I don't think it's going to be. Of course, you know, with the mortgages, there's nothing we can do but wait that one out. What do you think is going to happen there?
I think we're going to see February before any type of resolution.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I've watched it, not to get political, but I just don't see any coming together at this point.
Well, let's talk about the impact of if it does go into February. What's going to be the trickle down of all those mortgages being held up?
I think you're going to start seeing a snowball effect on not that transaction alone, but maybe you're somehow linked to your buyer that you're working with needs to sell their house, and the person buying their house maybe is trying to do a USDA loan. Well, you might have zero impact on your end. You might be a perfect buyer, no problems whatsoever, 20% down, but yet the person buying your home may not be able to buy your house.
Yeah.
So you're going to see delays somewhere. How big those impacts are going to be all depends on when they resolve this.
Yeah, but if you look at how that trickles down to everything, because you've got them, the loan is basically on hold, but everything that comes after that is also on hold. The closing, the appraisal, all of that stuff is going to be delayed, and I think that can really negatively affect the housing market. Probably more than anything, if you can't really sell or buy real estate if you can't get that mortgage.
That's true.
Unless you're going cash or conventional, it's kind of slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, appraisals are ordered by the bank, so appraisals might not be held up as
I don't
much,
think you'll
but
see an issue
Yeah.
there.
closings might be
Closings.
back to back to back to back
Yeah.
to back, just trying to get caught up.
Right.
Boy, Sarah Parvin will be Facebook Living every 5 minutes complaining about the lack of closings.
We
So,
love you, Sarah.
hey, you are watching the Revolved Realty Real Talk Show. Again, Tim Knox, Chelsea McKinney, Stephen Allen sitting in for Zach. Poor Zach. He's been working on the renovation.
It's looking great.
Poor
Have you been
Zach.
over there?
He's got a cool building.
He
He's doing
Yeah,
some
but
cool
you know
stuff.
what? God love him. He's working himself to death. Here's what he does. He calls me up and he goes, you know, man, if I had some help, I could get this done. And I'm like, well, you need to call some help because you ain't going to get any from me because this is Zach. You know,
He's
but
calling
it's
the wrong
it's
one.
going to be really cool once he's done it.
Yeah.
He's only a couple of weeks out.
Can't wait to
But
see
he
it.
is really overdoing it, man.
He's overdoing it.
By that,
Not, you're talking about
by
himself,
that, I
not
mean
the building.
himself. I worry about the boy.
Yeah.
Because you know he's up 20 hours a day doing the fast food, and but the building itself. What if you don't know what we're talking about? The Athens office. Zach Walker purchased an old. I guess it's a part of a building down off the square in Athens. Is the old Gray and Holt building. Really cool. I mean, did you guys see it before he started tearing it apart?
Yes.
Just what he Facebooked.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, the cash register was the original cash register from like
that's cool.
from like 20, you know, or like 1910, It was ginormous. I mean, it was literally sitting on this metal table, and you couldn't move the damn thing because it was so heavy. It had those, you had to hit the key. Everybody now just does this swiping.
Right.
But it had these big, beautiful glass cases, and just the walls were covered with like stucco. He tore the walls off, and there was the brick behind the walls.
Yeah.
It's really, really
Wasn't there
cool.
like even a section where they used to put boots on and try on boots?
Yeah.
It was kind of wore out.
It was really neat because the building itself back in the early 19-teens was a silent movie theater. And
in that building?
In the upstairs was a silent movie theater. The downstairs eventually became Gray and Holt, which was like a general mercantile store. So they sold everything. And on one wall was all their boots. And there's a space, they had a bench there, and you can still see the marks on the hardwood floor where everyone sat down and pulled off their boots to try on.
Did he
new
just
boots.
clear coat that?
He just
He's
clear
not
coated.
refinishing?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was one of the things I think that the best decision he made was not to cover up any of that because he wanted to, that original patina, there's so damn much history there. They found, he didn't, but the guy, previous owner, went upstairs and found a bunch of old movie posters from like 1915, 1920. And he was able to sell those posters for enough money to do the renovation on the thing. So, yeah. Pretty dang cool. So Athens is a great market. Things are going good over there. The office with Zach. We are also we're building our team. Let's talk about that for just a second because one of the things that you have to do to grow is to add good team members, and we've done that. We've just added Andrew Shaw, Robert Lewis. Of course, we've got Lori, Donna, rock star Amy, I call her, and Emmett. And so we've what are we up to? I think we've got, counting you, me, and Jeff, 9 here in this office.
Yeah.
And then we've got 8 or 9 in the Athens office. But we are continually looking for agents who want to come and work with us. We do things a little differently. Number one, we pay more than anybody else, which is always nice. Our training, our support, our leads, our partnerships with folks like Steven. So if you are a new agent just looking to get in the business and you think you need more training and support than you're getting, or even if you're a seasoned agent that's tired of carving off a big piece of pie, we should talk. Because we're a lot of fun to work with.
And you need to do some of the videos with the new agents, too.
I know. So far I've wrangled Jeff and Amy. I've got to get the others in here and do videos and get you introduced. The one thing that I really like about what we're doing here is our agents all are somewhat specialized. Like Robert, our new agent, Robert Lewis, he also has a home investors franchise. So he is very well informed and trained on how to do that sort of property and work with investors and that sort of thing. So it's a fun time. Things are going well, and we expect the market to continue to grow.
Here's to a big 2019.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And we hope that the government shutdown ends soon because we would like to get things. I don't want to have to call you up going, damn it, Stephen, we got to close this loan.
For those who may be listening now who didn't hear me say, conventional VA, you don't have an impact right now. Even FHA, for 95% of the loans with FHA, zero impact. So
Can there ever be an impact? Are they involved in the government in any way?
I mean, some lenders, I'm speaking for our company, some lenders may have different stances on how they look at the tax transcripts. They may have an impact. But if your lender tells you, hey, we can't close your FHA loan, just call the mortgage firm. We'll get you done.
There you go. Boy, that was a blatant commercial. Nicely done. All right, Chelsea, what you got going on?
I'm getting a massage later.
Nice.
I want Chelsea McKinney's life. I swear. She does 12, 14-hour days, and then Friday comes.
It's Focus Friday. Every single Friday, I do something to focus on myself and my mental health, and I encourage everyone to do it.
How's that working out for you?
Well, let's not talk.
I think that's great that you take a day and do that because what people probably don't know about you is you've got like 8 different things going. You're not only a realtor, but you're a flipper, you're a designer. Hammer and Sales is going great guns. You're an accountant. So I think you deserve a me day.
Thanks.
But it's really funny because
I take one every Friday.
Every Friday I call Chelsea. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm getting a massage.
I started it in like September, and I booked out a massage every Friday through the end of the year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
then
I loved
I'll call
so
her an hour
much.
later. What are you doing? I'm getting a manicure.
No, well, that's only like every 3 weeks.
Yeah, whatever. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the show. If we can answer any questions for you as far as mortgages, real estate, that sort of thing, feel free to drop the questions in the box below. We'll address them on the next show. Stephen, thanks for filling in, buddy.
I appreciate the opportunity.
That chair's always got your name on it. Chelsea, have a good Friday.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Enjoy that
me
massage.
day.
Thank you.
And if I can do anything for you, I'm not going to go get a massage. I can't pay people to touch me. It's kind of sad. You can give me a call, 256-679-0704. We'll see you next time. Stephen, you get to turn us off and get us out of here. Take care.